Hey, jump for joy, for spring has sprung. If you're like me, you've been waiting for some evidence that spring is coming soon. Well, down here in Las Vegas at my friend's house, it has arrived, as we can see the evidence of the pink blossoms of the nectarine tree against equally wonderful brand new green shoots of blossoms coming off of an apricot tree. And I can't be more excited about the color combination of pink with this green, as you're about to find out. In fact, you're going to find out about a couple of things here that's going to make this photograph quite exciting to shoot. And we start with, take a look through here, and you can clearly see we are shooting a vertical of these blooms against the background of that green tree. Choosing your background is critical, and I can't stress that enough. Take a look behind me here. We see a gray 6-foot cement wall. If I chose a blossom and shooting that direction, I'd have a very stale gray background. But again, I'm using this direction here specifically to get a color complement of the pink with the green. Now, as far as the actual photograph itself, I'm using a 100mm macro and subsequently getting a wonderful background of out of focus tones by utilizing an aperture of 7.1. Take a look at that image up on the screen. Now, if you know me as well, you also are very familiar with my book, Understanding Exposure, and how I stress in that book that every single exposure situation you have, in terms of every subject you shoot, you have no less than 6 possible correct exposures of the combinations of apertures and speeds with a particular and given ISO every single time. No less than 6. So my point being, at 7.1, you saw that picture on the screen. Compare that now to one taken at f/22. Look at those two images side by side. Clearly, the visual difference is quite remarkable. Notice the one at f/22 is much, much busier in terms of the overall background, as opposed to the one taken at f7.1. This has everything to do, of course, with, in this instance, too much depth of field at f/22. So keep that in mind when you come out to shoot a shot like this. You will control the out of focus or the in focus of your background by making the correct choice in aperture. Now, beyond that, there's something else I want to mention. As you can clearly see, both those images were taken vertically. I don't think either one is a vertically pleasing composition. The colors are calm and tranquil and very soothing, the pinks and the greens. As a result, here's something you might want to consider. Just because it's a vertical, don't think visually you have to present it as such. Look what happened when I rotate these images in Photoshop by simply doing a 90-degree turn to the right. We now have the horizontal, far more pleasing in my mind, calm, tranquil, and soothing in terms of the overall feel of the image. You may not agree, but I think most of you will agree. And I want to stress this idea of rotating the image is not limited to pink blossoms against a green background. I've done this many times, in particular with abstracts. Take a look at the few up on the screen, originally shot as verticals, and now what happens when I rotate to horizontal. Again, I think they're a lot more pleasing. Something to consider as you start to expand your vision. Don't limit your thinking to this being a vertical. There's no reason it has to be. You can certainly rotate it after the fact. Something to keep in mind the next time you're out shooting, perhaps. Hey, until next time, this is Bryan Peterson saying, you keep shooting.